show, do you feel like you become someone other than who you are in your everyday life?
When I play a show, I think I finally become myself. And my regular day, everyday Mitski is just like not quite there. You know what I'm saying? Just when I'm on stage, I'm like, oh, cool, this is me. And then when I'm off stage, just like, I'm sorry that I'm this way. I don't like this either. Yeah.
Do you feel like it shuts off like the second you get off stage, or do you have to like shut it off?
I have to shut it off, for sure. And so that's why when people come up to me right after, I'm just like,
I'm so raw.
This is my heart. I still need to put it back inside.
Do you have a ritual that you do, or like a process that you go through when you're shutting it off that, yeah.
I wish I did. Well, I wish I had more rituals around performance in general. Like, before I play, if I don't have a ritual, but if I had a ritual, I feel like my performances would be more consistent. Do you know what I'm saying? And then after I play, I think I need to, like, go to a quiet place for 5 minutes or something. But then I have to run to the merge table, so. Do you have any? I would love to know, because I don't.
I think it depends on the show. I feel like at some shows, I feel the same way that you just described, where I'm 100% what I should be, and then in the rest of my life, I'm just like, damn. But then I also have to run to the merch table.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's probably better that the people who are interacting with me are lucky that they get to interact with me in that state where I'm just so nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any rituals. I also wish that I did, because it would be really relaxing.
It's
probably.
good to have like routines. Speaking of which, great segue. Do you have like a ritual or routine when you go back to New York City? Because like you've been touring for much longer than I have, and you've been living in New York City for much longer than I have. So what I find that I do is I just get a really good bagel. So do you have anything like that?
I actually do the same thing.
Yeah?
We have a place right by Oliver's parents' house where the morning that we get back, well, we usually drive back the night before and then crash until noon.
Yeah.
Because we're always just like, we just gotta go. And then we go on a date, me and Oliver and I go on a date and get these really crazy bagels.
Bagels?
Yeah, and coffee, and then we take Frankie for a 2-hour walk in the park.
Like, I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, like, we're so sorry for what we've done to your life. Though you probably had a really great routine while we were gone.
I'm gonna walk you till you're tired so you can't think about this
And then
anymore.
we snuggle all day.
That's so good.
So I feel like most people backstory of being in a band, myself included, is like, I was in a really crappy punk band, and then I realized that it was bad, and then I started writing my own music, and then I made this band, and now here we are, and I'm finally good. Whereas you have a much more like classical background in music, and so that's my question.
So I started alright, and then I just like went downhill to like a shitty punk band.
No, well, okay, that's not what my question
I'm just being unfair.
But my
sorry.
question was like, do you feel like now that you have a much larger, more public platform, do you feel like you're interested in revisiting that, or are you just like set in the rock outfit? Both of which are great.
I'm definitely gonna revisit it. I can't right now. Like, if I wrote for strings, great, like it's just gonna sit on a desk. Like, I don't have string players. Maybe in the future, if I'm not like dead by then, I'll have like resources and just be like, I have a string quartet, I can record, you know? Really? You play violin. I feel like someone else in Epoch plays like cello or something.
No, that's me.
Who plays cello?
Me.
Oh. Well,
Hi.
okay, cool. So you'll be my string quartet.
Yeah.
Easy.
Cool.
Cool.
Sold.
So, if I love these questions because it lets you like dream. If money wasn't an issue and like profession wasn't an issue, where would you live, and what would be inside your house? Because I think about this all the time because I'm on tour and I don't have a house. So I think about like if I had a house, I would have this and this and this, and it would be here.
I also don't have a house. I think that my favorite place that I've ever been and I would want to live there is Iceland. It's amazing. And if money is not an issue, then hell yeah, I would live there, because the problem with it is how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And if I had a house, I would put in it my dog and probably 3 other dogs and a cat and a really, really big bed
Yeah.
and a recording studio
Yeah.
that I would be able to afford in this scenario.
Yeah. I agree about the recording studio, and also like I want a king size bed.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. The king size bed that's like Tempur-Pedic,
Yeah.
and
I can just be like sleeping with my baby, but also not touch them.
and all of my dogs. I also want like a drafting table, because I do a lot of comics.
Oh yeah, one of those like ones that are like this.
The kind that's like,
Yeah.
if this is the wall. That would be really nice, because right now I do all of my comics in the car, and that's like
And
the
then
worst
you
place.
draw them, and then you give them away without copying them.
Yeah.
So the people who receive them don't even understand how rare and beautiful of a thing they're receiving. They're just like, oh, thanks, but you should reiterate that, like, this is it.
Yeah,
for
I
you.
I never want to make people who I give gifts to feel like I'm putting pressure on them,
Really?
even though I'm always like, yeah, but in my head I'm like, bye. But it's okay. This one person used it as like the photograph, instead of using my press picture, which is me wearing a jacket and a hat, so right now it makes me feel very sweaty to look at it. It's just this comic that I drew, so I guess it exists somewhere.
That's good. I love your picture of you and Frankie, though. That's my favorite. And Frankie's yawning.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is mine. My baby.
This is my child. Bye. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
The person, have you ever taken pictures with
Andrew? Yeah. Andrew takes good pictures.
I love him.
Andrew.
Picone. My last question for you was, if you could choose anyone in the whole world, this is a dreaming question,
Okay.
to collaborate with, who would it be?
So, my favorite artist in the world is MIA, but I feel like if I collaborate with her, I would ruin it. I would just taint her. I want her to. I don't want to
exist
lower her.
flawlessly for me.
Yeah.
I understand that. That's how I feel about Bjork.
Oh my gosh.
I don't ever want to collaborate.
I don't
with her.
ever.
Just
No.
love her.
Yeah. She can do her thing, and she doesn't need
I
me.
can just watch.
Yeah. But there's this one artist called Mikachu.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to collaborate with her sincerely, because like everything she does is so left field, and she comes from a classical background, and she recently did the soundtrack for Under the Skin, which was like beautiful. So maybe I'll just like make collaborating an excuse just to like get to hang out with her.
That's how I feel about Shamir.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really want to collaborate with Shamir.
Mhm.
So, what's up, Shamir? That's my plan.
I feel like you have enough friends in common with Shamir where you could just.
We're friends, but I just would never be able. I would be like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really scary to ask someone to collaborate with you who you respect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's better as just an interview question, because then maybe someday they'll see it and you don't have to ask.
It's true.
And be rejected.
Also, if Drake sampled me, that would be great. Just saying.
You guys remember the first song you guys ever wrote? And do you guys
Yes.
still remember it now?
I remember it.
No. Well, I remember the first song I ever wrote for Eskimo, so that can count since that's why we're here.
The first song I ever wrote for Mitski was when I was 18, super, super drunk. It was like 7 or 8 a.m. in my room. I sat down at my keyboard and was like, bum, bum. It was like that song, Bag of Bones.
I don't think
On
I
my
know that
first,
song.
you don't have to. It was my first album.
Jack definitely knows
Yeah.
that song.
Yeah. And that was the first moment I was like, oh my god, I wrote a song. This is it. And then it's all downhill from there.
Yeah, the first time I ever wrote a song, I didn't know how to play any instruments except violin, and I didn't want to play it, so I just made this like really weird choral piece, and then I decided that it wasn't weird enough, so then I was like in a track over it, and then put a lot of delay on it.
That's amazing.
And
Can we still hear it?
what?
So,
Can we still hear it?
Oh yeah,
Is
I
it
was
out
actually
or-
planning on, I like put it on Bandcamp, and then I realized that the way I had to do it was take the MP3s and then put it into GarageBand and then export it as a wave so that I could put it on Bandcamp. But they all had click track in them, so every single track has this like like in it.
amazing.
So I had to really quickly take it down, and then I still haven't fixed that. But you definitely can find it somewhere in the depths of the internet. The album is called Awkward Party EP by Eskimo.
That's so cute. The click track.
Yeah, that
That's
was really
great.
sad moment where it sent out an email to like 800 people and was like, Eskimo has released a new
Oh.
album, and then it was like, no.
It was super percussive.
It was really embarrassing. So.
I have a question. Now that you guys have seen each other play every night for, a week or two, is there any guitar parts that you guys have questions about? Are you curious about each other or gear?
Well, I don't really know anything about gear.
I don't either.
Do
And
you? What is your distortion pedal that you were using before you had Callan in your band?
I don't remember. I tried to use a voodoo, but then that just like maybe I just don't know how to use it. I tried to use a voodoo pedal, but it just like it took out all the low end, so it was just like and then so I stopped using it. I could just work on it, but realistically no. And I use an overdrive that's yellow. I forgot what it's called.
That's my problem with pedals, is that I don't use them. But when I tried to use them, I would always just be like, this doesn't sound right, and then just bail.
Yeah. And I don't use my guitar. I'm using Casey's guitar, and I don't know what it is because I don't have my own electric guitar actually.
You just have that bass.
I just have that bass.
That bass.
That every live show review is like, it just comes down to she had a bright pink bass. Yes, I have a bright pink bass.
That's like, people say that about my guitar. They'll be like, Gabrielle Smith and her blue breath. But I was like, what the fuck do they mean? What do they mean by that? And then it was because there's a sticker on it that says the title of the Bellows album, Blue Breath.
So do they think it's
Yeah, they think it's called a Blue Breath guitar, but really, it's a Daisy Rock.
Actually, you should totally like collaborate with a guitar company and just like have like the Eskimo model called the Blue Breath. That sounds like a guitar.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay. So here's our guitar question.
Okay.
If you could design your guitar, what would your guitar be?
I mean, I don't know anything about
But
designing.
like even like just dream.
I think it would just dream.
Yeah, just dream.
I think it would be white, but not an obnoxious white. I feel like choosing the white guitar, a white color for a guitar is kind of like choosing white wallpaper, where like
You want eggshell.
you
not
could
white.
totally go deep and be like, this white is shitty, but this white is good. But that's like and I want it to be light for sure. I'm like so sick of heavy guitars. I've been, while I was recording, I was using, I think it was a Gibson or something, and I was just like, why is it so heavy? I don't want to be carrying this weight. I already have my heart. That's heavy. I can't do it.
You should try my guitar.
Can I have your guitar?
It weighs 3 pounds.
Can I have your
It's
guitar and
amazing.
then you can just make your own custom blue breath guitar?
Well, you can have my guitar because it was $97.
I was
just getting another one.
I was gonna. So here's a good question. If speaking of like blue breath and stuff, what would you name your guitar? Like, what would be its selling points if you had like an Eskimo collaboration sponsored guitar?
Okay, well, I would definitely just make the same guitar that I have. So, except that I would not make it in black. It would be probably my old guitar, which is the reason I have this guitar, is because I had this really amazing Schecter, and it got stolen. And so then I just ran to Guitar Center and was like, help me! And they were like, it's Labor Day, here's do whatever you want. And I picked up this one guitar, and it was just like the SG shape, which I think is really awful, and black, which I think is really awful, and it was like, it's like this thin, and the headstock weighs more than the body.
Oh.
It, like, if you hold it, it just goes like
That's so punk rock.
Yeah,
You can play it like.
Yeah, I mean, I play it like this, but yeah, you can do
Yeah,
whatever
you
feel.
play it like this, but I'm so enamored with the low slung.
I know.
look. I'm really into it. It's probably not like really conducive to playing, to like actually playing well, but I don't give a shit.
I tried to do that because I also think that looks really hot, but
You just
I have
have
really
to practice.
bad wrists, so I just.
I mean, obviously,
couldn't
it's
do
not
it.
good for your playing. Like, that's not the point, though.
Right, it just looks really hot.
So Patrick obviously isn't, and Patrick
who recorded the
recorded
Mitski album.
He was talking about how, like, one of the exciting parts about, if you have time, you should, like, go to each guitar store or, like, music shop and, like, look for a good Squire. Because Squires are, like, they're basically, like, I don't want to say this, but they're, like, the cheaper version of
They are.
yeah, of what they are.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but the thing is, apparently, like, there's like one in a few hundred that are just amazing, and like it's kind of like thrift store shopping where you have to go around and look for a good Squire, and when you do, you have to buy it. If we ever have time, we should do that.
You know, I feel like I'm all about breaking the Fender Gibson binary and just going with whatever is not that.
Wait, what happened to the beautiful Schecter?
I got robbed in Baltimore.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was so shitty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Good times. Thanks, Baltimore.
Whoever has that fucking
It has
guitar.
a seahorse on it and a picture and my album cover. So if you have it,
Or if
give it
anyone
back.
sees a shitty punk band playing it,
I'll give you $100 for it and my current guitar. But no, it was a blessing in disguise. That thing weighed like more than me, so it's fine.
what are your least favorite parts of touring? And what are the things and moments that keep you doing it regardless of your least favorite thing?
Okay, well, I'm a Taurus, so I'm obsessed with food. So my least favorite part of tour is waking up and leaving and eating a Cliff Bar and not drinking coffee until later.
Yeah.
I hate being hungry. That's my least favorite part of touring. I don't care about sleeping on the floor, and I don't care about being in the car because I just draw the whole time. And what keeps me doing it is the fact that I get to taste food in other places when I finally get there. And also, I don't know, I just do it compulsively. And when I haven't done it in too long, I get crazy.
It's true.
So I guess I have to do it,
Yeah.
and that's why.
I feel the same way. Also, St. Louis surprisingly had the best food, which I was not
Wow.
expecting.
Wow.
Remember?
No.
What?
Wait, what did we do? Where did we eat?
We had the Nepalese food.
Oh, yeah.
That was St. Louis.
That was
And
the
then we
best.
also went to the cafe across the street from the venue, and they had.
I feel like the best food was that was amazing. And it was surprising.
I think it was the element of surprise that. Was
Yeah,
like,
that really.
Yeah.
My favorite food was in the Thai food in Seattle. That was like.
Which one was that?
That was where we thought we were all getting pad Thai sort of, and then
Oh, yeah, that was good.
yeah.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
Yeah, we had this really amazing Thai food on Broadway in Seattle
During Pride.
during Pride. Yeah, it was really out of control. It was so fun.
That was so good. Also, the sushi we had together, oh my god.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
That
It's
was
like
the
I
best.
was so upset and so hungry, and we
We were
hadn't
all
eaten
so
in like
upset.
8 hours, and we screamed out the window because we were so upset.
we
But
did.
then we ate like the best sushi not the best I've ever had, but definitely the best, way better than I
Right.
expected.
It was what we needed because
was
we were
so-
we literally screamed outside we opened
Onto
the
the
windows
highway.
yeah, we screamed in there was to the sea. And then
That was a horrendous drive.
yeah, and then we really needed sushi. We made such an effort to get sushi. And we had sake, which was good.
Yeah. We were gonna call sushi places and have Mitski speak Japanese to them. And then if they didn't speak Japanese, we were just gonna
I was gonna
hang
be
up.
like, oh, never mind.
So,
yeah.
yeah. What about you? What do you hate about touring? And
I-
what do you do it? Why do you
What-
do it anyway?
I mean, food has a lot to do with it, but food is like a small part of like a bigger thing of lacking routine and not having just like your body gets so confused because you're always eating at a different time, not eating healthy, sleeping at different times.
At a different altitude.
At a different altitude, in different surfaces, and your body at a certain point is just like, stop doing this.
Where's your dog?
But I think actually what keeps me doing it is the exact same thing as you. Like, I don't have anything else.
Yeah.
So, that concludes our interview, I think. We did it.